Okay, we're back again for the third time. The stream hasn't finished. What the fuck are you talking about? Alright, I gotta close it, go back. That's notifications. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There we go. Are we living? Are we alive? Are we live? Doth we live? I believe so, my good man. Close that. Mushroom Oasis. He was an indoor cat, but had the tenacity of a wild cat on a mission, trying to leave whenever the door was open. Catios and playtime wasn't enough for the little mister. I figured he'd come running after I left out some food by the porch. 3 days later, still no cat. I've tried everything I could think of. Asking around the neighborhood, putting up missing cat posters. Sadly, nothing came from my efforts. I couldn't search for him during the day since I had work keeping me occupied. And there's only so many hours in an evening I could yell around the streets looking for him. There was only one place left I could think that he might have ran off to. The woods by my house, right across the street. I've definitely caught him eyeing the birds and squirrels that ran alongside the perimeters from the front window, his teeth clicking in his excitement. I was no outdoorsy person by any means. I don't care about the bit rate. Okay, I got an excellent connection now. In fact, the thought of going in there scares me. But I had to find him, or at least try. The first weekend that came around, I packed some water, Schmungus's favorite treats, and compass to be safe. I wasn't sure where to begin looking for him, so I started walking in a straight line, calling his name every few steps. It certainly didn't take long for me to realize I was in over my head. Schmungus! Schmungus! Why did I think this was a good idea? It was hard to find my bearings within the surrounding trees. I didn't want to admit I was lost, at least not yet. I could only squint at my compass as the needle spun slowly. Pretty sure they weren't meant to do that. Did I really bring a busted compass on my first venture out in these woods? Figured that would be just my luck. The only thing risking my safety was my own incompetence. I shook my head hastily. No time for negativity. I don't care about the bit rate. Schmungus. I can't. Schmungus is hilarious to me. Gaming. This game, it's Mushroom Oasis. Not Mahjong. Mushroom Oasis. That's X. S. That's a Z. Mushroom Oasis. Alright, so Mushroom Oasis doesn't exist on the YouTube streaming thing. Hey, look, I have one view. Huzzah! Okay. Wow, the average view duration is 3 seconds. No time for negativity. Schmungus was out there somewhere, cold and lost and hungry. I had to keep going. Beloved Schmungus. It's been hours. I'm so lost. I don't even know why I kept searching even after the moment I'd realized that. Why did I think this was a good idea? Hunger had been gnawing at my stomach for a while now, having missed breakfast and lunch altogether. The heat and humidity from the afternoon sun was unbearable, but the cooling air did nothing to soothe me. Even if I were to head home, I couldn't even pinpoint where I was. What do people do in this situation? I knew it was a baseless optimism, but walking onwards was the only really thing I could think of. Surely I'd come across something familiar. I trudged on, my shoes carefully avoiding the tree roots intertwined across the floor. But in my weakened state, plus the approaching darkness, I found myself stumbling through the rough terrain. My feet hit something soft, jutting out of the ground. Ah! My hands shot out as I lost my balance. My feet clumsily tried to find purchase as I wobbled backwards, arms flapping. Poof. What? My shoe had landed smack dab in the circle of mushrooms, the brunt of it causing a wispy cloud to erupt from the cluster. I stuck my nose in my elbow to avoid breathing it in. I couldn't inherit one tree leaf from another for the life of me. Couldn't differentiate one tree leaf from another for the life of me, but I'm pretty sure humans weren't supposed to inhale whatever the hell that was. It smelled strongly of rotten wood and wet dirt, even as it cleared. That's a cat's shape right there. Something shiny quickly caught my attention. I stooped down to pick it up, gasping under my breath. It was Schmungus's collar, covered in whatever the hell those mushrooms released. I looked around desperately for any signs of him. Schmungus? Schmungus! Psst, 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 psst. I coughed from inhaling some of the remaining dust floating in the air. I should really steer clear from this. Pocketing Schmungus's collar, I retreated carefully until I could breathe again. Stepping back, and I could still smell it. It must have stuck to my hair and clothes. A quick once-over confirmed my suspicions with a slight cringe. A thin yet generous coating of it covered my sleeves and jeans. I leaned against a tree, dusting off my clothes in a naive attempt to get the dust and smell out, to no avail. If anything, it felt like I'm breathing more of it in. What used to be dusty now turned sweet, and I found myself inhaling even deeper, trying to pinpoint the smell. Cucumbers? It smelled like fresh cucumbers. A tingly feeling crept up my hands and neck, pinpricks spreading across my limbs as a strange heat reached my face. I started to feel drunk and woozy. My senses were numb. It should freak me out. And yet, a strange comfort washed over me. My legs gave out from under me, my body. Why are the things addressing me? They're purple. And stared, and stared, and stared. It was nice here. A peaceful calm. The perfect place for a nap, even. My eyes grew heavy as I swam in and out of consciousness. Yeah, a nap sounds pretty good right now. Oh, lots of critters passing through lately. Sorry this happened to you, little one. It could have been anyone, but it had to be you. Wait, a human? How'd you end up all the way out here? Still breathing, too. Ah, jeez, I can't leave you here. What should I do? I woke with a jolt. It was warm, but comfortably so. I could feel the weight of a blanket on me as I tried to sit up. I couldn't move my body. My fingers twitched uselessly at my sides as my eyes darted around in panic. Glancing about, I could see the interior of the cabin, or at least the ceiling of one. I couldn't see much past the corner of my eyes. Where was I? How did I get here? A desperate feeling rose in my chest. I had to leave. Right now. This was wrong, wrong, wrong. I wasn't meant to be here. I could hear the crackling of a fire nearby, lightly the source of the warmth that I had felt on waking up. I could also hear footsteps approaching. Stay awake. I fluttered my eyes, straining to look at the person approaching. Oh, my Pookie Wookie. God, I love him. I love him so much. I fluttered my eyelids, straining to look at the person approaching. My eyes widened as I looked at their appearance, the protrusions from their forehead catching my attention. Not to mention the green skin. The stranger didn't sense my unease and heaved a sigh of relief. You're awake. That's good. Very, very good. How are you feeling? I blinked. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Here. The person held a cup to my lips, a strong, sweet smell coming from the rim. A gentle hand grabbed my chin to open my mouth. I couldn't even move to resist. Don't worry, it'll help you feel better, I promise. God, I wish that was a different liquid. Drink up. Drink up. Yum, yum, yum. As the liquid hit my tongue, all I could feel was a vague sense of heat. As I kept drinking, taste and texture returned, the sweetness of berries and chamomile coating my taste buds. I could even detect a hint of mint. Mint. Now where's Schmungus? God, I love Schmungus. Schmungus is my cat. Schmungus is my favorite kitty. Schmungus, my favorite little kitty. I lifted my head finally, hands fisting at my sides. I propped myself onto my elbows. The person kept a steady hand on my chin, careful not to pour it in too much in case I choked. I finished every last drop, wiping my mouth with the back of my hand. I stared at my fingers, realizing I had full autonomy over my body again. Good news. How are you feeling? What's the hat? I didn't notice the hat before. I didn't know he had that. The stranger laughed. Oh, I like the way you sound. Been ages since I've talked to anyone, much less with a voice as nice as yours. I brushed off their strange compliment, finally looking around the cabin properly. That is not a strange compliment. I would take that compliment with a badge of honor. It was a simple room, filled with sparse but decorated wooden furniture, fit for someone living alone. An open archway to the right to what I assumed was the kitchen. Next to it, a door was closed shut. Possibly the bathroom? Taking it in, there was a common theme of knitted decoration strewn about it. Any available surface had patterned knitted tablecloths covering it. An unfinished project laid beside the bedside table where I sat. A pair of knitting needles jutted out of a pile of yarn from a small basket. As far as I could tell, it looked like the beginnings of a green scarf. The stranger was comfortable and staying silent, observing me as I glanced around. Whoa! They have a mushroom hat. Oh my god, they have like a mushroom hat. I love it. I love it. I love them. I love them. I want them to. No, I can't say that on YouTube. I don't want to get a strike. With their hat off, their unique features were impossible to ignore. Sorry, but what are you? Oh, I didn't introduce myself, did I? Hi, I'm Michael, with a Y. I shook my head. No, I meant that, Michael stared at me, their left ear twitching. You look very... He snorted. Ugly? Off-putting? Oh my god, he has a blue tongue. Oh my god. Different, huh? You're just being nice. Well, then explain yourself. I mean, that's kind of rude, isn't it? I paused for a moment before pinching my nose bridge, exhaling slowly. I'm just... sorry. It's been a long day, is all. I should be thanking you. If it helps, it's, a skin condition. It's what you humans call them. The way he said it didn't sound confident. And the ears? Genetics? Right. And I assumed I waved vaguely at their horns? Antennae? Those little things are just cosplay to complete the look? Would that make a convincing argument? I squinted. Maybe. Then yeah, it's cosplay. Still doesn't explain everything. Michael huffed a nervous laugh. Listen, I'm just a guy living by himself in the woods. You don't need to worry yourself further than that, okay? Something in his tone compelled you not to question his existence anymore. He's just some guy, living in the woods, completely normal. Right, completely normal. I'm Calzone. Michael beamed. Nice to meet you, Calzone. I fiddled with the blankets as Michael scooted closer from the edge of the bed. You know what, he's British now. I know I already asked, but how are you feeling? Any aches, sores, nausea? Intrusive thoughts, weird impulses, fever, maybe? I don't think so. He placed his hand on my forehead before I could react. His hands were calloused, quickly retracting as he gave a thoughtful hum. You seem to be lucid. That's a good sign. Great? He hummed absentmindedly. His twitching finger reminded me of a perturbed cat. Cat. My cat! Oh, shoot! Sorry if this is out of nowhere, but have you seen a cat around these parts? His name's Schmungus. Schmungus! I love Schmungus. I love Schmungus so much. I love Schmungus. Schmungus is my cat. I love Schmungus. Schmungus, Schmungus, Schmungus. Schmungus. Yes, Schmungus. He's a sweet little thing, about this big, skittish, but he can approach strangers if he needs to. I pulled out my phone to show pictures of him, only to find it missing from my back pocket. What? Where is... Oh, I haven't. Huh? Your cat. I haven't seen it. Oh, I see. I slumped against the pillows, rubbing my temples. He lost his collar, too. Even if anyone finds him, they won't be able to tell where he's from. Damn it. Michael stayed quiet, watching me from the side of his bed. You came all the way out here for a cat? Huh? Of course. To the point where you're willing to run yourself ragged this deep in the forest? For a cat? Do you realize how far you've wandered away from the nearest town? I found you near unconscious in an area nobody set foot in for years. For a cat. He sounded like he was holding himself back from giving me a stern lecture. Give me a second, I'm checking something. Because I don't get notifications from that Twitch group. Nothing, okay. Returning to what I'm doing. Hello, Michael. He sounded like he was holding himself from giving me a stern lecture, as if in disbelief I had such little regard for my own survival. My cheeks grew heated at how stupid and reckless that sounds. I mean, he's not just a cat, he's my family. I know it was stupid for even trying, but I had to. Michael eased up, shoulders tense as he looked me over from beneath his unruly bangs. Yeah, unruly bangs, hot. I gotta stop starting games and not finishing them. Like on stream, like on Twitch, on my Twitch, because I have a Twitch. You guys should all go to my Twitch after you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe here and then go subscribe to Twitch. You ho. Michael eased up, shoulders tense as he looked me over from underneath his unruly bangs. Family, huh? He finally tipped his head at me with a smile. You willing to wander this far for such a small critter? I've met my fair share of lost campers, hunters, and a few runaway teens or so. But someone looking for the pet? You're kind of weird, aren't you? I sputtered, much to his amusement. Speak for yourself. Who cosplays in the middle of the woods? How is his tongue blue if he's cosplaying? Michael laughed, a deep, hearty one resonating from his chest. Fair. I think I'm starting to like you, Calzone. Likewise? His smile widened, but something about it was off. He was showing too much teeth. It felt like he hadn't talked to someone for a real long time and forgot how to smile the right amount. He's gonna eat me. I rubbed my neck, trying to think of something else to say. Can I ask how did I get here? Oh, like I said, I found you in the woods not far from here. Oh, geez, really? I knew I was tired, but I couldn't have possibly... Huh. I did step in something. Something important. Familiar pinpricks crept up my skin. Home. I need to go home. Michael stiffened as he grabbed my shoulder. Never mind that. You'd fallen unconscious from, heat stroke. Heat stroke? No, that's not what happened. I was fine up until Michael shook his head insistently, leaning close. No, Firefly, you weren't fine at all. If I hadn't found you when I did, well, who knows what could have happened. You could have gotten injured or attacked by a wild animal. There's dangers in these woods, you know. No, he was right. You had been so foolish. How did you think you could do this on your own? Searching for your cat in the middle of the woods, and to go without bringing any water? passing out from heat stroke of all things. How could you have been so stupid? I shook my head, brain too foggy to pick apart my thoughts. He sounded confident. Why should you doubt him? Well, if it means anything, I'm glad you were there. Michael relaxed, hand on his lap once more. He grinned at me. So am I, Calzan. I'm definitely glad I found you. Oh my god, his blush is blue. His eyes were suddenly fully behind his unruly hair, but I couldn't help feeling how insistently they were fixed on me as he said that. The hairs on the back of my neck stood. Sure. Without a distraction, I've only just now realized how uncomfortable I was sitting still. The blanket on me was starting to itch, just as the desperate need to get home began to rise on me again. This was interesting, but I should really get going now. Wait! My host jumped up from the bed before I could. I mean, I can't just let you wander around the woods this late. Please, stay a bit longer. But, Michael, I should come. He grabbed my hand and led me across the room. We stepped into the kitchen, a fragrant smell of cooked potatoes and meat hanging in the air. 2 plates had been set out on a small circular table, complete with utensils and mugs of tea. I wasn't expecting guests today, so the food is nothing fancy. But join me for dinner? He looked so hopeful, his ears drooping. You'd feel so bad if you had to say no. Michael's jaw dropped for a second before he quickly recovered. Yes, of course. Here, come sit. I'll serve up the cottage pie in a minute. I sat as instructed, my stomach rumbling something fierce as the smell was the only thing I could focus on. Yes, this was definitely the right choice. Well, it was so important that you had to leave so soon. The outside world can wait. You should stay here and enjoy my company. Oh, actually, I should ask, are you okay with meat for dinner? I could make something else if that's not your preference. I'm okay with meat. I love meat. I love stuffing meat in my mouth. Oh, okay. You'll be having the same dinner as me then. Michael patted about the small kitchen with an almost giddy excitement. He put on a pair of knitted oven mitts, humming as he stooped down and pulled out knitted. Can you knit oven mitts? Didn't know that. Steaming tray of pie. The smell filled the kitchen within an instant. As he brought it to the table, my stomach rumbling louder in response. I'm pretty sure Michael could hear it, but he just smiled as he served up our portions. He discreetly cut me a bigger piece, which I was grateful for. It looked so good. The crust was a nice color, streaked with crisp lines and garnish. The meat and veggie looked absolutely delectable, the savory sauce leaking onto the plate. My mouth was watering, unsurprising considering the fact I hadn't eaten all day. Careful now, it's still hot. Wonder if there's a main menu. Help. Full screen. I'm checking something. There we go. Save there. It was fair advice, but I didn't wait more than 2 blows before biting into my first forkful. It was definitely too hot to eat straight from the oven. Michael kept a polite expression, the corner of his mouth lifting as I panted it with the piece still in my mouth. Is it good? Give me a minute. I'm working on taking a screenshot for for next thumbnail. Unless I can edit the stream info on my PC. see. Perfect. And now I can return to preferences and go to full screen again. Is it good? I nodded vigorously, even though my buds were burning. Couldn't taste anything. He laughed. It's usually better on the second bite. I slowed down, hand on my mouth as Michael poked his fork into his own slice. I tentatively blew on the pie to make sure it was cool before taking another bite. He was right. The second bite was a lot better. The seasoned potato crust was nice and crisp on top, cheesy and creamy in the middle. The savory meat filling was well cooked and bursting with flavor. Every bite felt like home. My host watched me enjoy the meal from across the table. Do you like it? Yeah, it tastes amazing, Michael. He flushed from the compliment, rubbing the back of his neck. Oh God, I love his blush. I love this man. I'm so homosexual for this boy, for this little creature. I've been streaming for it doesn't. Oh wait, top right corner. 30 minutes. Fun. How long is this game? One to 2 hours. Okay, so we're like halfway through. I like to think of myself as a decent cook, but I've never been able to... Do you like baking in particular? Not always. I usually go for simple dishes, with any ingredients available. I nodded amicably, though it didn't say much else. I was more focused on scarfing down dinner. Thankfully, Michael didn't seem to mind. The overall atmosphere was nice and homely, and I could hear Michael tapping his feet from underneath the table. I guess he was happy to have someone stay for dinner? Did seem like he lived alone, judging from the surroundings in his cabin. So, I'm kinda curious. He perked up instantly, his focus solely on me. What made you want to live all the way out here? Oh. Well, when you look like me, it's kind of easier to live out of sight from everyone else. A pang of guilt shot through my chest. I was giving him a hard time about how he looks too. He must have sent it clear as day on my face. Not that you're one of them. You've actually been nicer than most. Though, I wonder if... His smile turned strained. Never mind. My point is, it's better here than anywhere else. Why don't you try the tea, Firefly? He seemed uncomfortable now, easing into a different topic. It's probably best to follow along. Oh, sure. I reached out towards my mug, only to push it off the edge with my clumsy fingers. Wait. I bent over to grab it, fully expecting it to fall just out of reach and land on the floor into broken pieces. It never did. Instead, a long green appendage was twisted around the ceramic mug, securely keeping it in place. Not even a drop had fallen out. My eyes trailed along the length of it until I pinpointed that it came from behind Michael, the rest of it partially hidden beneath his cardigan. He's got a tail! Is that yours? Michael buried his face in his hand, the strange appendage from before lowering to his side, mug in tow. Oh, I'm sorry, Calzone. I think it's time I was honest. He lifted his head, fingers carding through his hair to reveal his eyes. I froze as multiple pairs of irises stared right into mine before darting to the side to avoid my gaze. Oh my God, he's so hot. The alien man is attractive. The alien man is very attractive. I know it's a lot to take in, but this is who I really am. Please don't be scared. You're hot. I swallow audibly. He seemed to be holding his breath as I gripped the edge of the table. It felt unsettling every time he blinked, those eyes in unison. Was it real? It had to be. Everything about him suddenly made so much more sense. The isolation, the avoidant behavior. He looked freaky, yes, but he also looked sad. I swallowed thickly. I'm not scared. Oh my god, he's so pretty. Oh my god. Oh, he's so fucking pretty. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love him so much. I'm so homosexual for this man, even though I'm bi. God, he's hot. What time is it? 2 o'clock. Michael's many pupils blew wide, dilating like an excited wildcat. It sent a shiver up my spine. Okay, maybe just a little bit scared. Sorry. He hastily grabbed an empty plate and hid behind it, shoulders scrunched up despite his stature. Would it help if I just hide it? I could fix my hair like before if that's what you prefer. His voice was muffled behind the ceramic barrier between us. It was kind of endearing. I slowly reached out to touch his hand, a slight brush of my fingertips making him jump in place. Michael? Yeah? Can you put that down? He slowly lowered the plate. His eyes were still darted to the side, avoiding me. Can you look at me? Oh god, he's pretty. Oh god, he's so pretty. Oh god, he's so pretty. Don't look at me like that. Sorry, I can't stop. This is so awkward. His hands were shaking. I looked down on the mug, still floating next to him, hanging on for dear life. I reached over and plucked it straight out of his grasp. I tentatively took a sip, noticing how Michael was watching me over the rim of the mug. The taste was mildly spicy, with almost an earthy bite to it. I recognized it instantly as ginger tea. It's almost room temperature, but it's still pretty good. Huh? You wanted me to try the tea, right? I like it, so thank you. Oh, I'm glad. Michael relaxed back into his seat, following my lead as I picked up my fork once more. The silence didn't last long as Michael fidgeted. Are you really okay with this? With me? It's very different from what I'm used to, but I think I can learn to like it. Is that weird to say? I mean, you're not bad to look at. It's actually kind of, damn it, what do I say? Hot! Hot? You're not referring to temperature, are you? No, I'm not. Oh, he looked confused, but I was saying it, what did you expect? What do you expect for me to say? Give me a minute, I'm advertising more. My point is, your appearance shouldn't matter. You've been nothing but kind to me so far. I'd be the worst kind of person to judge someone based on how they look. I haven't known you long enough, but you seem like a good person. You're fine, Michael. You know, I know what he means by fine. I smiled at him. I hope they don't think I'm a woman. I'm just gay for him. I'm just gay for this man. There's a difference. I love embarrassed little twinks. Can you edit? I can. Okay, so I have to go on to my browser to do it. Receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Buffering. Okay. YouTube. I'm changing the thumbnail. Give me a minute. Myth Relay Part 1. What? Edit video? End screen, no. Go back. Analytics. There we go. Okay, and stream settings, I believe. No, it's gonna be an edit. So I could like that, edit, and upload thumbnail. Save. Okay, back to what I'm doing. I smiled at him. We're fine. I see. He fidgeted some more before smiling. Not nodding, smiling a bit. Thanks, Calzone. I'll cherish this moment forever. He beamed at me enthusiastically as he enthusiastically went back to eating his food. That was something. He continued with a bit of small talk, mostly stories about Schmungus. Schmungus is the superior name for a stream, or for a cat, okay? If I get a cat, I'm naming him Schmungus. And if I don't, so help me. The wrath that will be introduced to the world will be immeasurable. Am I not live? Okay, there we go. Oh, it buffered a bit. Okay, now I'm live on where it says, okay. 3 views! That was me. All 3 of those views were me. Never mind. Michael hung on every word I said, not bothering to elaborate much about himself, despite my burning curiosity. Now I have 4. That's probably still me, though. I could tell he was extremely insecure about his appearance, so it's probably best I kept my questions to myself for tonight. We cleared up the kitchen in relative silence, Michael storing away the rest of the... Something changed. Or am I going crazy? As I washed the dishes by the sink. Being here in this remote cabin, I wondered how he had running water. Maybe I'll ask him later. So, thanks for dinner. Thanks for the company. Oh, and please, take the bed tonight. But... you're my guest, and I'm the host. Take the bed, okay? Alright, I'll be out of your hair first thing in the morning. Michael got quiet, staring at the floorboards. With his hair out of the way, I could finally read his expressions. He did seem... upset? Is that okay? I do need your help, though. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get lost again on my own. His tail flicked behind him. Yeah, I'll bring you home tomorrow morning. I heaved a sigh of relief. No! I want to stay with Michael. Thanks, Michael. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah. Good night, Calzone. Good night, Michael. He seemed really happy being able to say that. I plopped myself down on Michael's bed, getting comfy beneath the blanket. Oh wait, I'm reading something. Give me a minute. High school band concert at 5:13. Okay, sorry. I was reading event stuff for like band and such. Michael was gathering some blankets of his own to make a makeshift bed on the floor in front of the fire. He had an impressive collection of different items, a comfortable nest forming in the center of the room. My eyes trailed after his tail, now out in the opens as it flicked and swayed, kind of like a cat. I miss Schmungus. I can't do it. I really can't. Schmungus. Now, with a full stomach, dozing off came easy. I didn't even realize how tired I was. I listened to the gentle crackling of the fire, my vision darkening. No, I want Michael in the bed with me. Bring Michael! Get Michael's bitch. Oh, hi! Hi, Michael. Good night, Calzone. Oh, I want him to touch me. A soft humming invaded my dreams, stirring me awake. I live! I blinked my eyes open to unfamiliar surroundings, swaddled in a blanket that clearly wasn't mine. Where? Oh. I spotted the familiar figure of my host seated on a stool in front of the fire, hands deftly working on the green scarf bundled in his lap. His back was towards me, but I caught glimpses of his fingers as a needle softly clicked between the yarn. He looked incredibly adept at using them, the rhythmic motions almost hypnotic as the fingers wound together into intricate patterns. I slowly stirred into a sitting position, rubbing at my eyes. You know exactly what those skilled fingers finna do. The movement quickly caught his attention, ear flicking in my direction before his eyes trained on me. Just like last night, his pupils blew up as we made eye contact. His expression lit up the instant he saw me. Calzone, hey, I'm glad you're finally awake. You look so tired, I didn't want to disturb you until you've gotten enough rest. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Calzone. Did you sleep well? I was still too groggy to answer his question, a yawn slipping out as I stretched. He smiled kindly, a soft chuckle under his breath. Like a baby, then? He pointed over his shoulder to the door beside the fireplace, tilting his head towards it. You could freshen up in the bathroom if you'd like, while I stop making you some food. I'd have eaten breakfast by now, but I'd want you to join me while the food is still hot. How do eggs and toast sound? Ooh, sounds delicious. Great! You better have salt, though. I'll see you in the kitchen, then. He tucked away his knitted materials and set it aside. Oh, I also have a surprise for you after breakfast. It's not the most exciting surprise, but, just join me when you're ready. He ducked into the kitchen without another glance. I could hear his boots thud about the floorboards, cabinets opening and closing in succession in the kitchen. I suppose that's my cue. I rolled out of bed, leaving the warmth of Michael's blankets and trotting over to the door Michael pointed out. Stepping inside, I didn't know what I was expecting when he said he had a bathroom, but this was surprisingly spacious. Everything looked like it was carved and polished out of wood. He seemed to have everything you'd find in a modern bathroom: a sink with a cabinet, a shower and a tub, even a toilet. Curious, I crept over to the toilet in particular, inspecting it. There wasn't a tank like you'd expect where the water would be stored. Instead, there was a compartment to the side full of sawdust and a scoop. I expected it to have at least a bit of a smell, but it was surprisingly odorless. There was even a roll of toilet paper on the side. There was no flushing system, but it was hygienic. Is Michael my cat? Is Michael my cat? Michael must have done his research. Walking over to the sink, I stared at the faucet before hesitantly switching it. I genuinely heard the rush of water pouring in, swirling in the basin before disappearing to who knows where. Wow. Why am I impressed by a damn functioning bathroom sink? Because we're in the middle of the woods, Calzone. Wait, that's me. I helped with the dishes last night, and I already knew Michael had plumbing. Shaking my head, I finished freshening up and headed to the kitchen. Michael looked up as I entered, a steaming kettle in his hands with 2 empty mugs on the counter. It must have been the lighting, but he was taller than I remembered. Glancing to the table, I could hardly see. He barely finished plating up our food. Oh wow, you work fast. Michael looked proud of himself. Can't have my guests stay on an empty stomach. Go on, have a seat. I'll join you in a moment. I returned his smile and sat down, stomach grumbling as I looked at our plates. Once again, Michael was generous with the serving sizes. Fat slices of bread were toasted perfectly with crisp buttered sides, bright red tomato slices and crisp salad peeking underneath the fluffy eggs. Ew! The person who made this was British, I think. I don't know. Do British people call lettuce salads? Do they just call lettuce salad? Because that just says salad. Is it because there's multiple slices of lettuce? What constitutes a salad? It looked amazingly tantalizing, the smell of savory herbs wafting up into my nose. Oh, thank God he seasoned it. My mouth watered. Michael sat down, a steaming mug beside me, before I settled into his own seat. Peeking above the rim, I could see small flowers floating about, tinting the water yellow. It smelled faintly of apples. I recognized the yellow dried pellets on tea packaging I've seen before. Oh, chamomile? He nodded. I hope you like it. I'm sure I will. Chamomile helps with sleep. I like chamomile. His smile widened, his tail swaying at the tips of his feet. He seemed more relaxed, showing his natural features this morning. Any trace of panic and hesitation from last night were gone, replaced by a lack of contentment. Michael bit into his toast, and I followed suit. The food was delicious, as expected. A chunk of toast I bit into was heavenly, the butter sweet on my tongue. The tomato and salad provided was a crisp balance. Yeah, the eggs! Something about simple home-cooked eggs is just the best. Michael was happy to eat in silence, occasionally looking up at me as I enjoyed my food. He'd smile when our eyes met, his bottom pair narrowing into a happy squint. Oh yeah, I forgot. They're not eye bags. I wondered if he'd be open to some questions. Hey, do you mind if I ask... How do you have plumbing? I know it's a silly question, but I can't stop thinking about it. Oh, you were wondering about that? The embarrassed look on his face was probably enough of an answer. Oh, well, it's nothing fascinating. It's just rainwater I got stored above the cabin. That's... Wow! He nodded. I detected a hint of pride as he continued. It's actually a recent installment, believe it or not. Granted, the project took a while, gathering materials, figuring out the tools, finding the right instruction manuals. Plus, I had to figure out where to store the water tank. And don't worry, I installed a filtration system, so it's safe for us to use. Rainwater is always safe to use. I check in every few weeks to make sure nothing's contaminated. Oh. That sounded daunting. Especially considering you lived all the way out here in the woods. You did all that on your own? I kinda had to. Anyway, it took a lot of calibrating and adjusting, but it finally worked out. Now that I think about it, I'm glad you get to be comfortable here during your stay too. Does that answer your question? Yeah. How'd you learn to cook? Cottage pie is a pretty complicated recipe. I just wondered if anyone taught you how to cook. I'd be lucky if someone could teach me how to make boiled eggs, Firefly. But it was trial and error mostly. My early endeavors were, pretty much inedible. I picked up a thing or two without cooking, though, so your taste buds aren't gonna fall victim to nasty creations, like in my early days at least. Speaking of, did you enjoy dinner last night? Of course I did. You're a really good cook, Michael. I'm glad. Probably wasn't obvious, but I'm really happy I got to cook for you. I don't get guests often, in case you couldn't tell. I could ask you to cook for me every day, then. He grinned at my joke, looking pleased. I'd be happy to. I chuckled as I took another bite. So, what's your favorite thing to cook? He lit up at the question. Fried mushrooms. Fried mushrooms? Yeah, there's plenty to find and it's easy to make. Huh. I do remember finding a patch of mushrooms yesterday. They smelled pretty funky, though. Do you remember that? What was that? Nothing. Anyways, mushroom was the only thing I had for a while, before figuring out I could eat other stuff like roots and veggies. Do you forage all your ingredients? Mostly. There are times I figured out how to catch fish and hunt game with the best of my life, I'll tell you that. My first taste of meat? He did an awkward version of a chef's kiss, as if mimicking someone he saw on television once. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Was he trying to say Mamma Mia? He continued before I could even dwell on it for a second. Mamma Mia. Mamma Mio. But nothing beats what you humans are able to make. You guys go nuts with ingredients. Rice was a challenge. Depression's ingredient, since I have to actually go get some from a store. But once I figured out how to make it nice and fluffy, I consider it a special treat. I did a double take. You go to the store? Hello.
Hi, Charles.
Oh, my back. Yeah? Where else would I get it? I thought you would grow it yourself or something. He laughed as I flushed in embarrassment. It's flattering you think I'm capable of something like that impressive, but no. Oh, fuck. There's only so much the forest can provide. But what about money? We're talking about human currency, right? Otherwise, how would you even... Do you actually have a job? The thought occurred to me. Or did you steal it? You looked almost offended. Do you take me for a criminal? No. But that would mean... Then how? Michael bit into his toast, his eyes twinkling in mischief. I have my ways, Firefly. He killed people. What's that supposed to mean? What's it like living in the woods? I still can't believe how cozy you've managed to make it, considering the whole middle of nowhere thing. It wasn't like that when I found it. No? It was a major, fixer-upper? So the cabin was abandoned. I never would have guessed. Yeah, I'm really happy to live somewhere permanent for once. It's not much, but it's home. What's it like? Peaceful. Quiet. I do like it a lot. The forest provides me with everything I need. And nobody bothers me for the way I look out here. His ears twitched slightly. Sometimes you just happen to end up where it's most convenient for you. And everyone else. The way he avoided my eyes as he said that gave me the impression there's something more to it. Like his home wasn't just out of convenience, but fear of something else. Rejection, perhaps? Or something worse. Anyways, I don't really have anything else to say about it, unless there's something specific you want to ask. He doesn't think about his answer much before beaming at me. What about you? I know you told me a little bit about yourself, but what's it like being you? I scoffed, waving a hand. Please, I'm the least interesting person in this room, trust me. His eyes were shining in the earnest as he leaned forward. Tell me anyway. Well, I told him about my life, at least the parts I was comfortable with sharing. Just like last night, his eyes didn't leave my face, occasionally darting about my features in interest. The direct ogling was making me nervous, but I suppose I was doing the exact same thing when it was his turn to talk. Eventually I came to the topic of my job and the woes of living in modern capitalism. I am a bit jealous. You have the whole cottagecore aesthetic practically perfect. His face morphed into a confused pout. Cottagecore? Yes, explain cottagecore to the mushroom man. Oh, I love him. I love him so much. I explained it to him in my own words. Oh, you're saying you want to live the way I do? Out in the woods? I nodded without hesitation. I mean, I wouldn't mind showing you the ropes. His tone seems slightly lilted. Lilted? Lilted? What do you mean? Never mind. Give me a minute. My phone dropped. Ah! Oh, my back. My old man spine. Anyways, I don't get what the appeal is, but it's not easy either, you know. The forest provides, but it's up to me to make the use of it. Starting out was a dark look crossed over his face, as if reliving a bitter memory. Rough. But I'm built for survival. I feel like I'm asking him to elaborate would make things awkward. I decided to veer the topic into a different direction. No, I want to hear. Doesn't it get lonely? Sometimes. But I'm used to it. He smiled, his eyes lighting up. Besides, I have you at the moment, don't I? I never thought I'd enjoy having someone around. You must be really special. I'm starting to know a lot more about Michael. He didn't directly say it, but I felt like he was lonelier than he was letting on. Not to mention how he managed to make a home for himself, all on his own. I had to wonder if he had anyone at all. Do you have any family around? Family? His expression turned solemn for a moment before he looked sheepish. Remind me how that works again? I get the concept based on books I've read. I don't have what you call parents, if that's what you're asking. My mouth dropped open in shock. No parents? He shrugged and took another bite of toast. Not that I recall. Then how did you... What's that like, living with so many people like you in such close proximity? Huh? That's how it works, right? You and other humans living in one house, and you have this, DNA thing that makes you relate to the rest? What? That's what makes a family, right? Oh, DNA! I got confused, too. Was he talking about DNA? His definition threw me off, but I had to answer somehow. Not just that. Family is... Actually, I guess they are just people you live in close proximity to, whether by choice or not. Michael's ears flattened instantly, followed by a look of discomfort on his face. I see. All the more reason I don't need family, then. I don't understand how you humans can be around each other so much. If it was me in that situation, I don't even want to think about it. I was taken aback by that. Do you hate being around humans? He straightened in his seat. No, that's not what I meant. How do I explain this? He waved in the air as his tail flicked aggressively. I can be around humans because we're so different. Your presence near me doesn't affect me at all. But, say you're like me. He gestured wildly at himself. As in, like me. I might get a bit dangerous. Couldn't even imagine associating Michael with the word dangerous, but he seemed dead serious. What are you saying? Like, if I had horns and a tail like you? He laughed under his breath, but it sounded forced. Exactly that, actually. Are you saying there's more like you out there? He didn't seem like he wanted to talk about it anymore, so I cleared my throat and changed the topic. To be fair, everyone's definition of a family could be different. What about you? What's your definition of family? Michael looked surprised as I asked him the question. I don't know. I've never had one, and I think your answer just confused me more. Well, if you ever figure it out, let me know. Michael stared at the remaining crumbs on his plate before he nodded, avoiding my gaze. Sure. We both fell quiet, a lull in the conversation blanketing us in a comforting silence. All this family talk, it reminded me of the reason I was out here in the first place. To look for my beloved cat, a sight I might never be able to see again. I couldn't help the sinking feeling in my chest, the growing pit in my stomach. I wish I was able to find Schmungus. Schmungus! You would have loved him. Michael opened his mouth to say something, but changed his mind. My voice warbled as a lump formed in my throat. Sorry. I just miss him so much. I keep thinking if I just went looking around for him sooner, maybe I would have been able to find him by now. He was quick to speak up. You did your best, Firefly. No one else could have gone to the lengths that you did. You almost risk getting yourself... I'm sure whatever he is, he's doing okay. Do you really think so? I know so. His voice was laced with a confused, confident assurance, despite the worried look on his face. He nodded with a quiet sniff. I hope so. He's just important to me is all. Michael looks like he wanted to reach across the table for me, but sighed instead. Actually, I'm sorry, Calzone. I should tell you. Maybe I do have family, now that I think about it. That was the surprise I mentioned before. Wait, really? He nodded. You done? I could take you to meet them right now. I looked down at my plate. During the conversation, I didn't even realize I'd finished my meal. Yeah, I'm done. His movements were quick, stocking our empty plates and mugs and setting them in the sink. He grasped my hand before I could say another word, pulling me up and heading outside with me in tow. As the door swung open, I could only see the forest ahead before he tugged me along as he rounded the side of the cabin. Almost immediately, my peripherals were assaulted with greens on both sides. I figured he was the type to grow his own vegetables, but to see it in person as confirmation was a whole different thing. With Michael leading the way, I only had a moment to take in the garden. He had marked different plots with messy drawings on small wooden signs jutting out of the dirt. Carrots, lettuce, potatoes, trellises of tomatoes and beans. Couldn't have been able to differentiate one plant to another without the signs. Even the chamomile from our tea now grew abundant close by, the small buds swaying gently. I bumped into Michael as he suddenly stopped, the man looking over his shoulder to beam at me. We reached what looked like a fenced-off area with a bit of netting stretching all around. That's over there. He stepped aside, watching as my eyes widened. Chickens! 3 fat, happy little hens strutted out like they owned the place. As he entered through the gate, the hens swarmed over in an instant at Michael's feet, circling him and checking his boots. Ladies, meet Calzone. Calzone, these are more Sansiu and Primrose. Or as I like to call them, Mama, Sunny, and Rosie. He ducked to pick one up, fluffing their feathers as he smiled. Aw, he's so silly. He gently scratched the feathers of the hen's little head, which I assumed was Rosie. She practically melted at his pampering, eyes sliding shut. The other 2 flapped their wings in a huff and went about their business once more. Michael leaned closer, beckoning me to pet Rosie. She was so soft. Rosie's the oldest. She doesn't lay eggs anymore, but I couldn't bring myself to him. You know. So I brought her some friends. Mama came first. Sunny's a more recent addition. What do you think? Do we make a good family? I laughed and nodded, watching as Rosie nuzzled into Michael's chest. That should be me, not her! I didn't expect chickens of all things. Were you expecting something else? I was expecting it to be someone else. Oh. No. When you look like me, people generally don't stick around. There's that negative talk again. You don't even look that bad. His eyes flicked to mine, a look of pleasant surprise crossing his face. You really think so? Yeah. You can't be that naive, Firefly. I mean it. He let out a polite scoff as he scratched Rosie's head absently. You genuinely believe people don't run away at the sight of me? Well, I didn't. His smile turned to smug, the corner of his lips lifting just a bit. Of course you didn't. Because you couldn't. Shoot, he wasn't wrong. I was pretty much paralyzed in his bed when we first met. But I still don't think you look that bad. Is that so? Describe me then. What? You heard me. Look at me, and describe what you see. For a second I thought he was being condescending, but looking at his eyes I could see it was a bit of playfulness. He looked at me intentionally, eyes shining. You're tall? Go on. You have blonde hair. He gave an amused squint, his left ear twitching. What else? You have green skin, and... He chuckled, though there was no malice in it. That's not all, is it? He definitely expected me to say it straight. Oh, fine. You don't look human. So what? He hummed absent-mindedly. As I was saying, animals generally don't care if you look like a monster. My heart twisted at his weird words. His passive nonchalance somehow makes it even worse. Michael, you're not a tug of my shoelace caught my attention. A light brown hen stood at my feet, her beady eyes shining. Sunny flapped her wings almost expectantly. Oh, I think she likes you. Go ahead, pick her up gently, like how I did with Rosie. I hesitated, but lowered myself, helped to cup Sunny by her wings. No, stop it. Why every time? I don't know what that was. Lifting her up, he was quick. She was quick to nestle herself until she was comfortably tucked under my arms. I could feel her wings wiggling as she nuzzled onto my side. So cute. Michael's gaze softened as I cooed at the chicken, mimicking her small clucks. So, did it help? Cheering you up, I mean. Oh, so that's what this was. A fuzzy feeling bloomed in my chest as he looked at me, chicken in his arms and concern on his face. A little bit, yeah. Only a little? I snickered, rolling my eyes. Okay, mister, a lot. That's more like it. His proud grin was infectious. I couldn't help smiling back. He spent a bit more time with the hens, petting them until they were satisfied. Michael even showed me the spot where they like to have their dust baths. Little chicken-shaped holes gathered in the dry soil underneath the coop. Once the gals had enough of us, we refilled their water container before leaving. He left them some treats, procuring them straight out of his pockets before shutting the gate. The girls' excited chatter over the food faded as we made our way back inside his cabin. I sat by his bed as we crouched down by the fireplace. From the window I could see the sun outside was getting higher. It might be close to afternoon now. Hey, Michael? He looked up at me, from where he was stoking the fire. I rubbed my arms, unsure where to place my gaze. I think it's a good time for me to go now. I didn't. My expression fell, but I caught myself quickly. He's done his best to cheer me up. It'll be inconsiderate towards him to leave in a bad mood. I might have to accept that I'll never see Schmungus again. I think it's better if I focus on moving on. He was quiet for a moment, hands in his pockets. If you say so. But you don't have to leave just yet. We've still got plenty of daylight left, and there's some places I want to show you. Will you come with me? I had to decide. I promise I'll take you home right after. He took another step towards me. Please, Firefly? I didn't want to say it, but he looked desperate. Okay. I'll go with you. The joy in his face was shining bright as a billboard. Great. Let me get us stuff. He disappeared into the kitchen, returning with my backpack in one hand and a satchel in the other. He passed it to me as he walked towards the front door. I almost forgot I had this. Rifling through my bag, I found cat treats, Schmuggus' collar, a broken compass, and my phone. The battery was dead, though. Still, that's one less thing to worry about. I checked through my bag once more, finding an empty water bottle. I frowned, distinctly remembering I forgot to pack water for my trip. Or at least, Michael told me I did. Didn't I? You ready? I looked up at Michael, startling when I spotted that large crossbow in his hand. Oh God, he's gonna of mice and men me. He's going to of mice and men me. He's gonna take me out into the woods and he's gonna shoot me with a crossbow. I mean, I'd let him shoot me with a crossbow any day. Any day of the week. Just, at least tell me first. Anyway. He quickly strapped the weapon to his back and out of sight. Don't worry, I'm not going to use it unless necessary. I would hope not. He chuckled at my indignant tone. You think we're going to let you out into the woods without guaranteeing your safety? I made a promise to get you home. This is just an extra precaution. Don't think it's a bit much? Better safe than sorry, Firefly. He did have a point. If anyone knew these woods and the kind of danger it held, It'd be Michael. Glanced over at him again, noticing he changed his oversized cardigan for something more outdoor appropriate. His eyes tracked mine, his shoulders stiffening as a tint spreads across his face. So, shall we? He opened the door, stepped outside to glance around his front yard. The landscape wasn't anything special. It was actually left quite plain, just thick with trees and foliage. Only paths of dirt and flattened grass include me in the routes Michael would use as he comes and goes, webbing in all directions, trailing to the front door. Come to think of it, anyone passing through would be able to spot Michael's house if they squinted through the trees carefully enough. I guess he was right that nobody walked through this area in years. I heard a lock turn before Michael joined me by my side. He smiled wide before tipping his head in a direction, making sure I was behind him before he started walking. I was hesitant, but followed suit. It was quiet as he traveled, save for the sounds of nature calling out to us. The weather was bright and warm, the sun casting pretty rays through the gaps in the trees. Had to admit, as enjoyable as it was, the bird calls and rustling of leaves as we walked somewhat brought bad memories. Yesterday was miserable. I was lost, tired, and hungry. There was a chance I wasn't going to make it out alive. I watched Michael's back as he led the way, the man barely paying a mind to his surroundings. His ear would occasionally flick back in my direction, but overall he seemed confident on where to go. Having Michael as my guide home was definitely a great assurance. Made me even more grateful that he'd found me when he did. Sighed and shook off the negative feelings, keeping place while appreciating the fresh air. Stepped up to my companion, willing my voice to speak after plenty of silence. This is actually kind of nice. A good old nature walk. I coughed into my fist, feeling embarrassed. I don't go outside as often as I could. Michael smiled kindly. I'm glad I get to bring you then. Yeah, feels different when you know where you're going. Actually, where are we going? He sensed my nervousness and laughed. Don't worry, we're almost there. I looked up and saw it before he even pointed it out. Clearing in the distance. The trees growing strangely sparse at that area. I held my breath as I noticed the grass slowly started to dot with flowers, delicate blooms swaying here and there in the trees. As we got closer, Michael watched as my mouth dropped open, a knowing twinkle in his eyes. It was breathtaking. A secluded meadow of flowers lit up by beams of light, making the scenery resemble a page from a forgotten fairy tale. Michael let me gawk some before walking ahead. He slipped off his satchel and laid it to the grass by his side along his crossbow. Blinked out of my stupor and approached him, spinning around to drink everything in before plopping myself down next to him. So, what do you think? Pretty, isn't it? I nodded dumbly before finally glancing to face him, the man's gaze on me softening as our eyes met. A butterfly approached us rapidly, making me flinch on instinct. It landed on his finger as he held it out, its wings flapping gently. He smiled at the dainty creature, a fond look in his eyes before he held it out towards me. Do you like butterflies, Calzone? I'm scared of them. Actually, I think they're okay. I prefer moths. Michael nodded, rotating his finger to watch the creature flutter at its wings. I think they're fascinating. They're, Metamorphosis? He beamed, nodding excitedly. Metamorphosis. 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 His cheeks puffed. His cheeks puffed in, holding back a laugh. Michael knew he fumbled, but grinned anyway. That word you said, it's amazing. To have that ability of being reborn into a different creature. The chance to look different. The chance to look beautiful. I scanned his face thoughtfully before pulling my knees up from my chest. It kind of is. The sun was at its peak now. The air getting warmer as minutes passed. The leaf canopy over us provided some cover for us not to overheat. Michael picked a flower with his other hand and placed it on my palm, his tail looping loosely around us, both as my cheeks darkened. He closed his eyes and leaned back further, the butterfly still resting on his hand. My ears caught a soft rumbling before I realized he was coming from his direction. I almost wanted to ask, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. My gaze dropped as I twirled the flower in my hand, holding the stem delicately. The gesture felt platonic, but also romantic. I wonder if Michael was even interested in relationships. He had been alone all his life. He'd probably get tired of my presence sooner or later. Before I could contemplate further, the butterfly on Michael's finger took off, my gaze trailing after it as it left the sunlight and flew away off into the woods. Which reminds me, Michael, Don't get me wrong, this place is stunning, but is it okay if we go now? He straightened from his relaxed slouch. Why? We just got here. I chewed on my lip, hesitating. I love it here, I do, but I want to go home, Michael. Michael studied my face. Calzone, do you want to leave me that badly? What? No! I need time to recover from losing Schmungus. I know it's silly and dramatic, but I know he won't be here when I get home. He trailed off, another shot of guilt and regret filling my chest. I just need to get done with. I feel a hand rubbing my back. Michael nodded slowly, looking me in the eyes. His smile was gentle. That's okay. I understand. But maybe this place can help with that. It's a nice spot to nap in, isn't it? Picked it out just for you. Why don't you go ahead and lie down? His words made you slay, a sudden bout of sleepiness weighing heavily over your eyelids. He was right. It is a nice spot to nap in. Why were you in such a hurry? You yawned, laying back to stretch on the grass, the warmth from the ground seeping through your clothes, lulling you into a sense of comfort and safety. There you go. Just spend some time with me. Just a bit more, please. Oh! Here's something else I could show you. He reached into a satchel and pulled out a wooden box. It's called a kalimba. I blinked slowly, clarity coming back as I shook my head to pay attention. Get out of there. Get out of there, Calzone. Get out of there, me. The box fit neatly in his hands, Michael holding it as if he were typing on a phone. I could see it had a hole in the middle with thin strips of metal arranged in a triangular shape over it. I've actually played a kalimba before. A proud smirk spread across his face. I'll show you. He began to pluck at the metallic prongs, a metal ringing sound resonating with every flick of his thumbs. Couldn't recognize the song. He might have made it up himself. I closed my eyes, enjoying the tune. Michael gave a soft chuckle as he kept playing. Relax and listen as long as you'd like, Firefly. A few minutes passed by with Michael plucking away at the instrument, the two of us sunbathing like two cats on a Sunday afternoon. I must have dozed off, because the next thing I knew, I felt a nudge on my shoulder. Comfy? He chuckled low when I refused to open my eyes. I mean, if you'd rather stay. My eyes shot open, my whole body jerking to sit up. Michael glanced at me, kalimba in his lap, and half a forget-me-not chain in his hands. What? I shook my head, slapping at my cheeks. I can't believe I fell asleep. I just still need to... It's all right. He cut me off. His sigh was heavy. I was hoping... Never mind. He patted my shoulder, though his smile didn't reach his eyes. Thanks for being here with me. Maybe we can do this again sometime. If I ever see you again. Let's get you home. He rolled over to his feet and stood up, brushing off dirt and fixing his satchel. Come on. We gathered our things and set off to the unknown once more. Well, unknown to me at least. Michael seemed to have a map of this place ingrained in his brain. You seem a bit sleepy still, so let's freshen up, okay? He walked a bit further away from the clearing, coming across a river. Compared to the rest of the path we walked, the area was shaded considerably in the thick canopy of leaves over us. The flowing water looked inviting as I kneeled down to my bank. Michael was idling close by. I dipped my hands in, eager to wash my face. The water was refreshing and cooled my heated skin in the afternoon sun. I pulled my hands back to see Michael peeking over my shoulder into my reflection, smiling with a faraway look on his face. He startled as our gazes met, Iris darting away to look at himself instead. Immediately his expression changed. His ears flattened, a grimace twisting his features as his lip curled back. I'd never seen such contempt in his eyes as I did then, staring at his own visage. He stepped away, retreating underneath the cover of the tree to lean against it with crossed arms. He didn't notice me watching. I patted my hands dry on my shirt and approached him. You ready? Yeah. I stopped him before he could turn to leave. He looked at me with a questioning look, tipping his head. I hesitated. I wasn't the type to speak my mind directly. Most of the time I'd keep things to myself and let things go by. But nobody should look at himself and have that sort of reaction. Hey, you know you're not, I might as well be frank. You're not a monster, Michael. He looked taken aback. What makes you say that? I saw you were looking at yourself. How you talk about yourself. None of it is true. I keep telling you, you're more than just your appearance. I don't know what compelled me to do it, but I did it anyway. I reached for his hand and held them between us. His eyes widened at the contact. All it took was a day with you. And truthfully, I think you're the most amazing person I've ever met. He made a choked noise. I'm just some old nobody compared to you. That's not... Shut up and listen. Listen to me, bitch. He probably shut his mouth and with an audible click of his teeth. From where I stand, he saved my life. You've taken care of me better than I can ask from a stranger. Then that already proves to me that you're not the monster you think you are. You're charming, you're smart, you're sweet. You're a million more wonderful things than you, but you're not a monster. I take a minute to compose myself, lowering my voice. You may look different, Michael, but guess what? His multiple eyes stared at me, ears flattening as if fearing the worst. That makes you all the more beautiful to me. His breath hitched. I could feel his hand squeezing mine, fingers trembling. It was like he forgot how to breathe. I realized my hands were getting sweaty. I pulled away hastily, scratching my neck and avoiding his gaze. I could feel the blood rush to my face. I could dug my whole head in the river and it probably let off steam. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. I just didn't feel right if I didn't say anything. I hope you understand. An awkward silence passed between the two of us. Anyways, I caught him mumbling under his breath. I can't let you leave. What? I said you can't leave. I mean, not without your cat, right? I've already tried, Michael. Like you said, it was stupid for me to just wander off the woods as if I'd find him through dumb luck. He paused, his fists clenching. But I haven't. I haven't tried. I know these woods better than everyone. I can try looking for him, but that means you can't leave yet. Michael, I appreciate the offer, but I don't think I should stick around any longer. I have a job and responsibilities, and you hissed in pain, a sudden migraine overcoming your senses. You feel sick, your stomach wringing itself into knots. You feel like the world was warping around you as your legs wobbled. Your body buckled over you as your urge to vomit. Michael caught you as you slumped gracelessly into the ground, your head resting on his shoulder as he cradled you close. Hey, you don't look so good. Your vision doubled as he spoke, his speech oozing together words into an indecipherable mess. Are you okay? Do you need me to carry you home? Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. You don't deserve this. If I could just one more day with you, I'd be the happiest man alive. Here we are. Let's get you tucked in. I should give you some clothes, especially since you'll be staying another night. You're okay with that, aren't you? I blinked groggily as I awake to the gentle sounds of a crackling fire, the itchy texture of worn bedsheets, the weight of a heavy knit blanket. I could recall once or twice having felt these very sensations to the point I'd consider them familiar and comforting. And yet... Hi, Michael. Hey, buddy. Calm the fuck down. So I'm in settings. Roll back. I don't know, disable. H hides it. Okay. H. That's terrifying. Where's his mouth? That's a thumbnail and a half if I've ever seen it. Wow. My knuckles hit him square. Oh my fucking god, we just socked Michael. We fucking gave Michael a haymaker. No scrunching as the taller man stumbled towards the stool. He landed on his rear with the grace of a clumsy toddler on the floor. I sat up in a panic and immediately grimaced, landing on the bed with an unceremonious flop. It hit me in one fell swoop how my whole body was aching. Every single one of my limbs felt like they went through a wringer and came out the other side all crinkled and wrong. I groaned aloud, leaning my head back on a pillow. Michael shifted back onto his feet, rubbing his nose. Calzone! His voice was an awkward croak before he clears his throat. I'm glad you're awake. How are you feeling? Terrible. He visibly flinched. I'm sorry to hear that. He stepped closer to the bed, leaning over warily in case my hand automatically whips out again in self-defense. With my hand settled in my lap, he deemed it safe enough to sit beside me. What happened, Michael? You don't remember? I shook my head, wincing a bit as my head pounded. Not at all. Michael hesitated. You tripped and hit your head. I had to carry you home? His words almost slurred together as he fidgeted. My head? I slowly lifted my head to feel for bumps and bruises, but he hastily snatches my wrist. Don't worry about that. Here, have this. It'll help. Michael gave me a familiar-looking drink as he quickly pressed a cup into my hands. Sitting up with comfort to take a sip, I couldn't help the small sense of deja vu. The amount of times I woke up in his bed, dazed and disoriented, is almost uncomfortable now. At least the drink was helping, just like he promised. My body felt lighter as I finished. Michael took the cup from me and set it aside before wringing his hands together with a nervousness I haven't seen in a while. So, I'm sorry this happened. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. He sighed, and I sighed and waved aside his worried with an embarrassed grumble. Wouldn't be the first time I tripped, if you could believe it. It's not your fault. He gave a soft chuckle, but it sounded guilty. I suppose you're right, it's just... His face looked like it had a million thoughts running through his head. I promised, didn't I? Said I was going to look out for you. Said I was going to keep you safe. Instead, I made you hurt. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry, Calzone. The sudden change in his demeanor was startling, to say the least. You couldn't predict that it was going to happen. And I'm fine, see? Oh, fine. I guess you're right. His expression carried a lingering doubt, but he quickly masked it with a small smile, his eyes dim. In that case, you'll be staying? The way he sounded almost made like it's already been made, or a plea. What do you mean? His eyes darted aside. You agreed to let me find Schmungus, remember? Did I say that? Yeah. So, you'll be staying a while longer, right? He didn't even let me get a word in. In fact, a feeling of uncertainty washed over me, as if we'd have this conversation before. I don't think... Besides, what's the rush? It's already late and you're in no condition to travel anyway. I blinked before glancing out the window. Pitch black darkness greeted me as I realized he was right. Yet another uncanny feeling spread through my chest, shivers crawling down my spine. I don't know why, but something about this whole situation felt wrong. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Michael had a nervous look on his face. Maybe you hit your head harder than you thought? His words didn't sound confident. How long was I out? A couple hours, I think? You, really took a hit. It was that bad? My brows creased as I tried to recall today's events, but I don't remember tripping. There was a river. I remember you. And then... Your memory must be fuzzy, and for good reason. After my stomach grumbled, echoing in the quiet room. There was a heavy silence after. Michael was polite enough to chuckle under a palm as I finished. He seemed relieved. Well, lucky for you, I've got dinner on the way. It should be ready soon. Soup sounds alright. My stomach growled once more, the pain of an empty gut making me wince a bit. My host noticed immediately. Oh, maybe I should get you some food sooner than later. Do you feel okay enough to get up? I nodded with a grumble, sitting my legs over the side of the bed before noticing something was on my lap. Wait, what's this? Oh, I want it! I want it so bad. I want that. There's a... Heavy, audibly heavy breathing as I look at that sweater. With a pair of baggy sweatpants. A mushroom pattern? That's oddly cute. The material felt warm but comfortable. A towel laid right next to them. Is this for me? Oh, Oh, I figured since you'll be staying another night, you'd want some fresh clothes. They might be a few sizes bigger. Or a lot. Sorry. You'd gotten shy for some reason. On the other hand, I didn't have to take a whiff at myself to know I probably reek. Nodded again, giving a small but grateful smile. They're fine, Michael. Thank you. Yet another thing I had to owe him. Couldn't help feeling like I'm taking advantage of his kindness now. So, you know where the bathroom is. Take your time cleaning up. I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything. I'm really happy you're here. He stood there for a few seconds, fidgeting with his hands as if he wanted to say more, before finally heading to the kitchen. I watched his back retreat before hoisting myself up and leading to the bathroom. Now that I was alone, I had a moment to gather my thoughts. The nagging feeling was back. A prickly feeling across my skin, raising goosebumps, as if to tell me I shouldn't be here. I couldn't place my finger on what. I should be careful. What button was it? Help. To... Oh, okay, so that's self-voicing. Anyway, try enter. Yeah. I just couldn't shake the feeling that Michael was hiding something. He'd been a gracious host so far, but that didn't make him the most trustworthy either. There's definitely something I'm missing. My mind was wandering even as I undressed and stepped into the shower. The icy chill of the water did nothing to distract me from my nerves, if anything, elevating it. I was a shivering mess by the time I was done cleaning myself with whatever soap he had lying around. Once I dried myself, I inspected his clothes inside and out to see if there's anything off with them. They smelled like wet grass and burnt wood. Considering his lifestyle, it made sense for his clothes to have that sort of scent stuck to them, I supposed. Putting them on, it just reminded me of how big and tall Michael was, compared to me at least. I fidgeted and fiddled with the sleeves and waistband until I could somewhat move comfortably. There's no mirror in this bathroom, so I had to assume I looked like a walking potato sack. Better than nothing. Gathering my courage, I shook out my hands and straightened myself before exiting towards the kitchen. A savory scent filled my nose. Michael did mention dinner was almost done. As I entered, I saw Michael by the stove, idly stirring something crimson in a pot and humming quietly to himself. His content smile widened as he saw me, his ears flicking. I tried not to look uneasy as he looked me up and down. How do they fit? They're all right. Much too big for me. He nodded, turning back to his pot. I can see that. Right. His smile faltered as he picked up the wariness in my tone. Is everything all right? His eyes held a sense of worry, his shoulders tensing. I can get you something else to wear if you'd like. There's no need. He paused, his hands gripping onto the ladle as he continued to hesitate. Calzone... There's another pause before his brows furrowed. I'm not an idiot. You don't trust me, do you? I flinched. Michael looked hurt as he sighed. So I'm right. His ears flicked by the sides of his head as he turned back towards the stove. Can I just know why? His eyes were sad as he stared at the pot, as if he'd been in this situation before. I thought I did everything right. Truthfully, I didn't expect how much a direct confrontation. There's a lump in my throat as my fists clenched at my sides. Every time. It's just... The kettle started whistling, but he's clearly ignoring it. I swallowed down my growing anxiety and decided to be upfront. I just didn't expect to be here again. Felt like the wrong thing to say. So you never wanted to be here? I didn't mean it like that. Then how else could you possibly mean it? Another deep sigh slipped out of him as he reached to lift the kettle off the stove, mumbling to himself. I was hoping you'd be different. What was I thinking? What did you say? Nothing. Michael? His forlorn expression made my words feel thick on my tongue, forcing me to reluctantly swallow them back down. Any trace of suspicion I had faded when and was replaced by a feeling of guilt. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd be home by now. I know. I'm sorry too. He lifted his gaze towards me, eyes full of regret. But is it really so bad, Calzone? I know being lost in the woods with a man you don't know can be scary, but I promise you he's safe. The last thing I'd ever want you to be is scared. He trailed off. So just trust me, okay? Can you do that, please? I swallowed and gave him a nod. My gut still roiled with suspicion, every fiber of my being wary of him to a certain extent. He seemed satisfied, though, eager to move on past attention. Thank you. His mouth quivered at the edges, all four of his eyes squinting with the slightest bit of hope. Please, let it be different for once. I shall cut it off here, folks. Time for the free transition. Ending soon. I hope that I'll see you this Thursday, so tomorrow, because I will now have a schedule of it. It will be Tuesdays and Thursdays for YouTube. It will be Monday and Wednesday for Twitch. Hope to see you on both.